civilian student body of Poly fell to only about 80 students during the war. The Navy took over. 3,000 naval cadets went through Poly's program, and the college was one of 20 chosen in the United States to participate in the pre flight training of potential Navy aviators under the watchful eyes of Lieutenant Commander Harry Cook and Cal Poly's longtime president, Julian McPhee. Even before their classroom work, what these cadets had to learn was Navy talk. So the floor was now a deck, the wall was now a bulkhead, and the bathroom was now the head. But here are two photos from Cal Poly's wartime magazine, navigation class on the left, and learning Morse code on the right. There was no Poly yearbook, so the Mustang Roundup substituted a monthly magazine, and this is a young Poly cadet hitting the books, but looks like his mind is everywhere else except for the books. They took classes again in naval etiquette, refresher course in mathematics, physics, meteorology, and then, as the photographs indicated, they learned Morse code and the rudiments of navigation. If they were lucky, the Navy seemed to have the same fondness for close order drill that the Army did at Hancock. And the Navy emphasized PT, physical training, as well. Before your Morse code or navigation class, a refreshing morning run up to the Poly P and back down to campus. It was a 15-week program, and when they graduated, if they graduated, they would move on to actual airplanes. Surprisingly, being inundated as San Luis Obispo was with soldiers from the nearby camp, they seemed to find room for the cadets too, and their business was welcome at Chet's Barbecue and in other places. As was the case at Hancock, there were graduation dances organized by the USO. The woman in charge of the dances for Polly's graduations was the wife of an actor, Mrs. Edward G. Robinson, kind of adopted the naval cadets at Poly. Here she is with Edward G., who became famous in gangster movies in the 1930s. Now, I wondered why Mrs. Robinson would take an interest in Cal Poly Navy boys, and then I found out, well, this is Edward G. himself as a sailor in the First World War, so the connection was a natural one. And again, if you made it through Poly, you went on to the naval equivalent of primary training. In this case, these are PT 13s again, over Florida.